Hi my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a fresh episode of our City Zoo build. It's Tropical Wings Zoo. This is a little bit of a different episode. It's a bit of a different feel. There is some stuff I'm going to show you, but really I need to address a couple of things basically that have happened, not only to kind of the series but the channel and things basically over the last, I don't know, week or so. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be showing you any new habitats today. I had planned to be giving you a grasslands animal hab earlier in the week. The amazing people at Frontier had gifted me the new update and whatever early, and then my computer decided to blow up. For people that are members of Discord and whatnot, you will have seen that I had real issues with my PCU and the GPU, and yeah, it's ended up costing me a fair amount of money. I am not a full-time YouTuber. I am self-employed as well, and I rely on my computer. So yeah, I've had a massive backlog of work, and it's one of the big reasons I just wasn't able to get involved in the Grasslands DLC launch, and also the update caused havoc in Tropical Wings and the Do It Better series as well, and that's essentially what I'm going to address first. So yeah, let's talk about that. So the new 1.12 update in particular broke Tropical Wings, and it's also sort of, I would actually say that the knock-on effect to Do It Better isn't anywhere near as bad as it was on this one. But yeah, it did break Tropical Wings a little bit. Now, I spoke to the guys at Frontier. They felt it was linked to a mod. I was kindly invited to a Discord server by Leaf, and I discussed the issue with a few of the guys over there, the kind of people that are involved in the mods. They seem to think that it's linked to the actual update itself, something within Frontier. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a mix of the two. You know, at the end of the day, mods are kind of made to kind of make the experience better. Frontier are only going to program the game to work kind of at their base level, aren't they? But whatever happened, there was something in the new update that plagued my save file with some issues. And the biggest issue that it seems to be is that it's just deleted a bunch of random items in the zoo. On investigation, I think that the items that it did remove were simply items that weren't part of a group. As you all know, I'm always telling you, make sure everything's part of a group because your game will run smoother. But even yours truly every now and then just forgets and starts placing items and whatnot. So the biggest hit area was over here. As you're going to see, all of these walls have all been removed. I've got walls over here that have all removed. I've got loads of walls all in the back of the sea lion. I've got fences, I've got gates, I've got a lot of stuff that's kind of gone down. There's some random planting that's disappeared throughout the zoo, but that's really hard to tell, and I'm kind of redoing that anyway at the moment. But yeah, I did notice that some plantings disappeared. I had some issues over near the flamingos as well, weirdly, because that had just been redone, but all the gravel disappeared. Leaf had made a point of saying that the gravel is a bit of a weird one anyway, because it's an item that's in the game that doesn't actually exist, but through clever engineering work on their end, they were able to make it an item on the workshop. So it's a bit of a strange one, but as you can see, I've actually placed the gravel back in here, but there are places that I was using the gravel that it doesn't exist anymore, and it didn't exist in here. I've just managed to go back and start reworking. Essentially, what was agreed by both Frontier and the modding community was that unfortunately it's just one of those things that can't be fixed. So I did, some investigation, as I've said, and at first I thought it was really, really bad. I thought it was massive parts of it that disappeared, but I think some of it came back. I do think some of it come back. And then, yeah, I actually think I can go back in and just rebuild everything. I'm working my way through Tropical Wings at the moment anyway, as you all know. I'm kind of working my way through the project at the minute. I'm going over things, I'm redoing stuff. I'm really kind of like trying to make things look nicer. So I think, I was going to be going over the whole zoo anyway. I've just got to remember when I get to those parts to not shit the bed, basically, excuse my French, and just replace it and just move on. I just got to move on. I really stressed about it. I really worried about it. I thought Tropical Wings was probably done for, but I've done some test saves and everything seems okay now. It's just that one, the initial save file, it was just plagued with whatever the issue is. But yeah, a massive thanks to anybody that helped me. Hex, Leaf, I am forgetting other people. There was one other guy who took a look as well. I really, really appreciate it. And essentially, you kind of saved the series, to be honest with you, because I was very close to binning this off and almost binning Planet Zoo content off because I was just so stressed because I put so much time and effort into this save. That yeah, I would have been gutted to lose it. I actually built, just to tease, I actually built a caracal habitat over here, and that was going to be my big thing for the Grasslands Animal Pack release. I'm going to talk to you about this. I'm rethinking the African area. I'm going to be really honest. Like, the whole African area might go through a bit of a rebuild. And you're all probably all sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, Dan, like, we've been waiting for you to finish it, not rebuild it. But yeah, I have been doing some work. I have actually been doing a little bit of work. So I might as well reveal to you what I've been doing. I replaced those items in the Flamingo Hab. Also, apologies if I sound weird, gang. I'm going through it again. I've got another cold. Having a child just means you're constantly ill. But yeah, I basically filled in all the gravel, and there was a couple of bits of wall missing. I've replaced them. That's all fine and dandy. When I get to it, I'll go over there and I'll replace all those items over there. Now, what you're going to see is there's planting all on the pavement and whatnot, because I've pulled all the planting out because I'm redoing all the planting. I've redone this bit of pathway here. This coloured path used to go all the way to the edge, and it actually didn't make sense. So instead, I've gone with this brick design again, just to separate the two. Slightly redone the stairs. I've tidied them up a bit, and I've made it uniform as well. There's 4 steps to each. There was actually 5 and 4, and I really didn't like it, so I've just made it a bit more uniform. I've changed all the wall out. This wall is from the Twilight Pack. I've got to put the trim on the top. You're going to see I've kind of done it over here. But I changed all this out. We were using the colourable stone pieces before from the South American pack that we got ages ago, and I'd made that 3 different coloured, like, grey wall, hadn't I? But it used a lot of pieces, and I just thought, you know what, we can reduce pieces and still have a wall that looks really nice. I actually think this looks better. So yeah, I've replaced all of this wall basically around here, which is looking pretty good actually. It's looking pretty nice. Reworked the little pathway there. I'm not finished on the front of this building. I'm actually going to redo all the doors. I've started making it. I'm going to have a sign that's going to go on this little bit of roof here. That's going to be the Primates of Africa sign. I think it's the perfect spot for it because it will look really good with all of the little metal mounts holding it up and whatnot as well. And from here as well, that sign's going to look amazing. So yeah, I'm kind of in the midst of doing all this. So yeah, I think that's going to look really good. The planting, as I say, it's kind of a work in progress, but I've just got some bushes on the pavement because I don't know if I'm going to reuse them or not. But yeah, we've got some new grasses in the new DLC, so definitely going to be playing around with them soon to see what they look like. I honestly, the Grasslands pack just doesn't exist for me because I just haven't had any time to sit down and take a proper look at it. I was trying to rush a caracal build through, and then once I had the issues on the save, I was like, well, I can't save this. I can't keep this save file because the save file was broke. So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. So then I had to delete it, and I couldn't release it. I'm doing work here. As you can see, I've removed quite a lot of plants. The ones that are left, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them. These bigger bushes, I definitely am. But I removed all the planting here because I've redone all of this as well. As you can see, I wanted to keep it all uniform. So I'm using this stone wall around here as well. I think it looks... Oh, I'm sorry, gang. I needed to sneeze. I think it looks super, super nice. I love the way it kind of wraps around. And the fact that I'm using far less pieces and still pulling off a really nice effect, I think is an absolute bonus. As you can see, look, we got the wall around here as well. This is what I was saying about doing the trim. I just had this like nice little neat trim on the top. I think it looks really, really nice. I'm gonna do that on all of this wall eventually. The trouble with me is I'll work on one area and then I'll be like, oh, I need to go work on something else, and then I'll take a break from it, go work on something else, and then I realise, I've got to come back. I might have some little water spouts coming out of this. This is basically, these are like little runoff funnels. So like when this gets really saturated with water, the water can run off into here. Essentially, that's what that is, and that's what they're here to represent. As you can see, I've redone all of this planting. I ripped all of this out, redone all this. I kept this tree and this bush though, because I think they look really, really nice there. And then the big thing is I've redone all this railing all the way along here, redone the little gate as well at the end. This is like staff access basically. I probably have to put a little staff access sign on the wall or on the building or something there. I've also got to make sure I put a little barrier there to stop them clipping through. I want to make sure they use the door at the end of the day. So yeah, I really, really do need to do that. And then the other bit I've done here, although that bush might need to be rotated because that's right over the pathway. Yeah, the other bit I've done, I want to redo the windows. I'm probably going to do that at a later date. But yeah, I've redone all of these gates as well. So this gate's brand new, using the marquee beams. Obviously, that was that thing that I had discovered, thanks to Caesar. And yeah, I redid all of the fencing up here. This is still like this. I don't know if this is going to stay like this, to be honest with you, but I'm still really undecided. But I think it's just because this wall looks a certain way. I'm just not sure if I'm in love with this anymore. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to stay like that. And then I've redone this doorway. This doorway is essentially just here to kind of represent that we can walk through, and we can actually, it's like a quick access point essentially for our zookeepers. So yeah, that's what that is. And then the big major change over here has been the roof. Now, I'd been saying for ages that I wanted to get to the roof. I wanted to change things up. I wanted to have a good look at it. Wanted to like really work in some realism and whatever. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. To be honest with you, I actually think I've made a little bit of a mistake because I'm going to be redoing the inside of this building as well. The more I look at it, the more I think that I could just do a better job. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be taking certain bits of this and redoing the indoors. So, yeah, I've probably done it the wrong way around. But as you can see, replaced all the railing along here, and I've actually stuck a door here now. I don't know if I'm going to put anything in here, but essentially, like, it comes into like a room, basically. And I was thinking that like that could just be like an electrical room where all the power units and whatever are kept, something like that. I think that's quite a cool use of that building. And then on the front here, you will see all that railing's been redone. I've just kind of replaced all of the flooring, tidied the roof trim up and stuff a little bit more, and I think it's come out really, really nice actually. And then this, I've spent a lot of time doing this, but I am in love with it. I'm absolutely in love with it. I've tried to make these like realistic walkways that you see on top of buildings. You see them a lot in like industrial buildings and whatnot. And, you know, even I used to work in facilities before I started doing the job that I do now. And one of the big things is we'd go up and look at all the aircon ducts and all that sort of stuff. And we'd end up walking along all these on the tops of the buildings and stuff. So, yeah, I wanted to try and create something because this is such a big facility. I wanted to try and create like a pathway that the engineers would take to go and fix things and whatever. So that's kind of what I've done. So it kind of starts here with this bit, a bit of pathway. This was probably the most complicated bit because it goes over the top of this area here, and then there's a bit of a drop. So I've had to kind of make something that's slightly different there. I'm actually going to be changing these up. I don't actually like this. I think this is a little too thick, the metal and whatnot. But yeah, I wanted to try and do something along the building to obviously keep the animals in and whatever, but I'm probably going to change that design. And yeah, then it comes over here, and the big change is that I've just made the walls a little bit more realistic. I've made them a little thicker, so they look a bit more realistic. You know, I've removed some items, I've put some items in. As you can see, we're probably going to put the sign along there, and then you can take this walkway and it goes off in this direction. As you can see, all brand new railings all the way along here. Really simplified all the roof. I think the wall looks really nice, and that railing comes up to a little ladder. We come to this area, brand new ladder in. All of the Fences have all been redone, as you can see. Like, these have all been redone. Really wanted to make these look nice. Brand new gates, brand new doors. Like, I'm doing all of the kind of exterior work first. See, I'm actually working back to front, but I think it's easier to work back to front when the building's already in place, and then you can tackle the inside of the building after. I wouldn't ordinarily do that. I'd always start inside and work out. But for this one, I'm just doing it slightly different because the building's already in place. But yeah, as you can see, looking really nice actually. Really, really loving the use of the materials we've got now with the later DLCs are so much more natural looking. I felt like a lot of stuff before felt really plasticky, whereas stuff really feels like metal now. But yeah, new doors and whatnot. And then we got this ladder. I decided to add this little water butt idea in, like there would be some like water runoff under the floor, just because otherwise the water would just gather here. I put like a little drainage wash name at the end, and then we could just drain water off, electrics and whatever. And then we've got brand new stuff here as well. There never used to be anything on this, but I've really gone to town. So as you can see, there's like a little ladder up. You can walk up and over. I redid all the windows because we've got the new glass now. So I rejigged all the windows. I had to rework the roof a little bit up here. There used to be like an aircon thing, but it wasn't working for me. So I took that out. I changed the way this building comes up to this edge here, so then we come straight across, so then it makes it feel like this higher section is actually part of that, and then we have a lower section in here. But yeah, I love the way this walkway looks, and then we've got these windows. I think they look a lot better, but like, you know, I was going to take some photos and share them on the Discord, but I thought, you know what, I'll just quickly run people through it when I address the issues that we've been going through with Tropical Wings or whatever. And then, yeah, we've got all of this brand new roof design because I'm changing it all up, as you know. And then, again, you can walk over this way. It just feels like one big continuous like walk. You come down the ladder. Again, I've redone all the walls along here. It looks so much more professional now. I've actually reworked the roof up here big time. Like, I've actually added this section with these big vents that go in, and they actually go into these vents that are now on the wall inside. So yeah, just wanted to make it really kind of feel like wherever there is a vent on the outside, there's one on the inside. But yeah, kind of really reworked all this. We've got lighting and whatnot up here. We've even got like a little power box that I made, which is really cool. Lots of little details on it. Essentially, that's just an aircon box turned around, and then I added all the details on top, and I think you get away with it. Got a little roof over the top of that as well. But yeah, just reworked all of this up here. I think it's looking really superb, to be honest with you. All the railings, all been redone. Yeah, like I say, this is all new. We've got a ladder going up to the top as well, because I'm going to take one, I'm going to curve it in, and I'm going to add something just at the top there. I've reworked all this, as you can see. We've got this little thing that goes to here, and then it walks across. It was impossible to get the roof in this little slender section. So yeah, I've just done this clever thing where I've just made it concrete, so you can step down and then you step back up and you kind of carry on. It was the only way around it, to be honest with you. The roof had to be cleaned up as well here, and then I added this little section, and then the new ladder down into this area, which is going to go for a big rework as well. We're going to put some drainage, we're going to put hose pipes on the wall, all sorts of stuff we're going to throw in there, because that was always meant to be somewhere where loads of stuff kind of ended up. And then, yeah, this is the bit I'm working on at the moment. This is kind of a work in progress. But yeah, as you can see, really changed over here, because we used to have loads of solar panels just dumped on the roof, really. There was no thought process to it at all. But yeah, I've really changed it. So we've got the walkway, and it hits this little section here. So you go over this way, and this is where the mandrels are. As you can see, I've completely reworked all of the windows. We're going to be reworking the whole inside of that as well. I've added this ventilation on here that is going to be represented inside as well. And then we also have ventilation piping there that's already kind of inside, if I take you there. it's sort of already here, but I'm actually going to take a tube of that go up and join this as well, so it all becomes like one unit. And then, yeah, the glass has got to be put in, but I've left the glass out because it's making it easier to work on the inside at the minute. And then, yeah, just more pipes or whatever. This is the solar panels now. I really dropped the number of solar panels down. We're down to 9 and we had like 15 before, I think. So, yeah, I've really reduced the numbers. But I could still add a couple kind of over here. But then you walk over this way and then we've got this big rig, this big unit here. The pipe goes down. It's kind of like the main ventilation unit for the building. I've put these vents here. We're actually going to be running pipes on the inside of the building. I've got kind of an example. Yeah, we're actually going to be running pipes, in the inside, and we're going to be running them kind of into the walls and into the building as well. I've redone all of the windows because I had to, because I've reworked all of this. All the windows needed doing. Much more delicate they look now. I think they're actually a lot more finished at the other end. Yeah, so this is what they look like finished. I think they look so much nicer. So much nicer. The building's all obviously been reworked. Lots of like single bits of plaster I've had to use, but it's the only way around it, to be honest with you. But yeah, lots of different level changes as well. So you obviously come down here. We've got this slightly higher section here, and then we do have a low section, and then it goes up and down again, and it comes around this way to another ladder that's going to go up to the top, because this is where the chimpanzees are. And then we're going to have a ladder go up, probably up, and we're going to bring that all the way across, and then it's going to join up to this ladder here, and then that's going to join up there as well. So it's just going to be this big kind of walkway area that takes you to all the areas where the building would obviously need maintenance, basically. But yeah, just trying to add as many details as possible, really changing it up. I think the roof, I just think it's so strange how just changing some details, and they're details that, they're not going to play a huge part in the way the animals interact with the building or whatever, but just on the eye, for the aesthetical purpose, it's amazing how just adding a few realistic details can really take a building up and on another level. And I also think it just proves that how much I've learned in 14, 15 months since I built the Primates of Africa habitat anyway. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of the work that I've been doing. It's not too exciting, it's not like amazing really, is it? But I think it's pretty cool work. But like I say, I am going to be reworking all the inside of the building. I might even rework some of the yards, to be honest, but just because of the new grasses we've got, I might rework some of the yards a little bit. But to the most part, I think we are getting there. We are getting there with Primates of Africa. I was supposed to be working on something else, but then obviously I had all the issues over there, so I decided to just knock that on the head and work on the Primates of Africa area instead. But yeah, this is kind of a work in progress, really. I'm going to be doing some big work here. I'm actually considering putting this under like a canopy, basically, like a netted canopy is what I'm thinking about putting over this now, because I think it'd be more realistic and it'd explain the mandrills not being able to jump up on top, and I just think it might look better, might look more realistic, So yeah, the whole zoo is very much a work in progress, especially now that the issues have subsided. I don't know when I'm adding new animals. I don't really plan to add new animals anytime soon, but I'm going to talk about the future of Tropical Wings now in the What's Happening Next section. Okay, gang, so this is like an overview of Tropical Wings and the way it looks at the moment, and really, the What's Happening Next today is more of a general discussion about the future of the project. And I say that because obviously with the issues that plagued the save when we got the new update for the game, I was really worried that I was going to lose Tropical Wings. It's a project that's been sort of 16 months going. It's been going on for a long time. So I really need to draw a line in the sand, and we need to finish the project, basically. And so what I've decided to do is I'm going to add a few animals from the new pack, but I'm not going to add loads. I think the emu and the wallaby are probably definites for over in the Australia area. I'm going to add the caracal as well because of an idea that I've got for the African area. And I might add the armadillo. I think the I think the butterflies I might add, but I'm only going to add the butterflies if I can rework the butterfly house to make that happen. Because I really like the butterfly house, kind of the way it is, to be honest. But I fear I might have to make it bigger to make the butterfly house work. And if I do, then it means I'd have to completely change that design. So yeah, I'm really not sure on that. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm going to add. But what I'm going to say is, if any more DLCs come out while I'm building, I'm adding no more animals from those DLCs. My animal limit has reached its point because every time I add an animal, it elongates the series further. It makes this last longer. And I love Tropical Wings. It's been my favourite project, to date. But I've got to get it finished one day. And my big thing is that I am hoping going forward, especially in the new year, that I'm going to have a recording schedule in place that's going to help me be able to do work on Planet Zoo a lot more. And I'm really open to up my Planet Zoo content outgoing on the channel as well. So, Tropical Wings is going to be one of those that's really used a lot and concentrated on a lot, because I do need to get this project finished. But just talking about like potential things that are going to happen. Obviously, I'm reworking the whole zoo. That's what I'm doing at the minute. I'm reworking the whole zoo. I'm working my way through. I'm changing things where I see fit. I think that, like, until that's done, I'm not going to add anything new, because I just don't see the point in adding new stuff while I'm trying to rework the zoo. What I am going to say is, though, this might sound shocking. This might sound shocking to a lot of people, but Adventure Africa might get semi-leveled and redone. That might sound crazy, but hear me out. I've got an idea. I think that the Fennec Fox and the meerkats and aardvarks habitats need to be made smaller. They're far too large at the moment. I look at a lot of zoos and their habs for these animals are not as big as what I've given them, basically. So I do think they need to be made smaller. But in making them smaller, I then open up the risk of there being more concrete areas or just adding planting for the sake of it. So I've got to be clever about the way I go about making these habs smaller, basically, okay? So that's something I'm toying with. The aardvark and meerkat one is a lot harder to do than the Fennec Fox one is. But I do think they both need making a little bit smaller, basically. The thing with the Fennec Fox is they've got that indoor area. I just don't think they need an outdoor area as large as they've got. And the same is kind of could be said for the meerkats. They've got this bit and they've got this bit and they've got this little indoor area and it just seems a bit overkill, basically, okay? The warthog and the gemsbok are going to stay exactly as they are. They're not going to be moving. I might change the habs up slightly. Obviously, when I get to them, I might want to upgrade the habitats a little bit. I'm definitely going to be reworking the buildings. But other than that, they're going to stay where they are. Their perimeters ain't going to change. I'm happy with them. Really, really happy with their placement. The same could be said for the fruit bats. Really happy with their placement. And I like the fact that, like, it's part of the Fennec Fox thing as well. It's all part of the same bit of Africa. It feels really nice there, so that's not going to move either. That's not going to change. Now, what I am considering doing, though, is the hyenas may get moved, and we're going to put another animal over here. I'm not sure what animal I'm going to put over here yet, but we're going to put another animal over here. And the reason for that is that this area up here is going to change. It's going to be in two parts now. We're going to have the safari area, which is going to have the rhinos, it's going to have the ostriches, it's going to have the giraffes, it's going to have the gazelle, it's going to have the zebras, and so on, all of the hoofstock, basically. But we're also going to have a predators of the savannah. That's what I'm going with now, okay? We're going to have a predators section and a prey section, and I'm hoping to design this in a way that there's going to get to a point on the walk where there's going to be a central building. And the way I see this is like a circle building, and you're going to go inside and it's going to be like a discovery centre. It's going to be full of educational purposes about all the animals of Africa and the savannah, what eats what preys on what, animals that are at risk, that sort of thing. It's going to have glass all around the outside. On the outside, you're going to be able to see the animals from inside the building. It's going to have a walkway where you're going to be able to see the animals as well. But I'm hoping that as we enter and exit, there's going to be a couple of viewpoints where you're going to get some predator-prey viewing interaction. It's kind of how I'm trying to do this, okay? So in the predator section, we're obviously going to have the lions. We're going to have the wild dogs. We're going to have the caracal because I'm adding them guys to the game. I'm considering adding the cheetah to the game as well. I think that might be a nice touch. And then obviously I'm going to move the hyenas over into this section to make it feel like they belong there. That's my plan. That's my plan for Africa. So what I'm saying is, because this is my plan and because I've kind of got that in place, and I'm drawing it up on Photoshop at the moment, okay, I've kind of got a big photo of this area and I'm slowly sketching in where I think things are going to go and how I'm going to work it. So the way things are going to go is this part over here, I'm going to be working on that for the foreseeable future, getting this exactly where I want it, and then once that's finished, we're then going to come over to Africa. Right, a while back I said I was going to be working on Asia, but because of where I'm at now, we're going to be coming over to Africa once that's done, and I'm literally going to level the bits that I don't like all at one time. I'm just going to level all the bits I don't like, and then we'll work on moving the animals that need moving, and then we'll be working on Africa. We're going to finish Africa first before I do anything else, because we've got this bit here. And I know exactly how much room I've got to work with. I know how much room I've got to work with. I know the animals I want to put in here. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Right, so that's that. That's the end of it. We are doing Adventure Africa as the next new thing in the zoo. But like I say, it's going to be a while before we get there. It was probably very long-winded, gang, today's video. But I've addressed the problems. I've shown you what I've been up to. I've addressed the future. Tropical wings. Let's get this project finished. Thanks for joining me for another video. And so there you have it, my friends. We're done and dusted. It's a bit different, this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I appreciate you stopping by and checking it out as well if you've done so. But yeah, my friends, hopefully the problems are behind us and we can really push forward with Tropical Wing Zoo now. Let me know what you've made of today's episode in the comment section below. I would really appreciate it. If you're new around here, you enjoy Planet Zoo content, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. There's always plenty of content on this channel aimed at it. Yeah, that's me done and dusted, my friends. Check out the description box as well for cool things like, you know, my Discord and my socials to come follow me and get involved with the community on a far larger scale. But I am done. Until next time, stay safe, stay humble. See you all later.